Hi Aspers, welcome to another G.Round game review, this time featuring Sanatorium, a mental asylum simulator. Maintindihan nyo yung story nito after we go through the brief introduction cutscene, but do bear with me as this game doesn't have an in-depth tutorial. Until now, I still get confused on what to do even after 50 minutes during my first playthrough. This demo will surely require some reading and thinking, so let's begin. Currently, there's no settings that we can try and see here sa my main menu. You can only see start game, load game, and quit. And I don't think gumagana yung load game even if you played once nung isang araw. So let's click on start game para maintindihan nyo yung story. We have been hired as a physician in Sanatorium Castlewoods. Hindi tayo doktor. Magpapanggap lang tayo ba kasi merong fishy business here in this hospital. So only two resources, money. Without money, hindi tayo makakabili ng test or treatment. And we also have the prestige, which is our XP. As much as possible, syempre, as a doctor, ayaw natin mahuli as a fraud. So we have to do our job correctly kahit di natin alam kung paano gawin yun. So we have to keep the rich patients as long as possible. For our playthrough Espers, we will try and reach the max EXP nitong bar na to as we currently have $44 to spend sa ating shop. So you have test cards and treatment cards. We also have the symbol bars, which categories we can expect for our patients. Ang maganda dito is pwedeng i-click yung bell dito. Wala siya ibang interaction. Yung shopkeeper natin, ang dami niyang naubos na cigarette. So to toggle between the test and the treatment, you have this switch right here sa may gilid. And yung category nga would be here. How I wish na they can improve this. Wherein upon hovering these icons, malalaman natin kung anong tawag sa kanila. They have specific names kasi tulad na ratio, impetus, mania, memoria, ego, phobia, and philia, which we will see later on as we treat our patient. Ang confusing part sa akin dito, Espers, would be what test to buy, considering some of the items here doesn't have any icons, reveal lang, tulad nitong phrenological assessment, which costs $6, as well as the Rorschach test. Di ko lang kung tama yung pagka-pronounce ko doon. So para hindi masayang yung pera natin, we will buy a dark chamber test, two of those actually, a roar test, ayoko nang banggitin yung second part ng word na yun, and one physiognomic test. Actually, dalawin na natin tong roar test, right? Then let's go to our treatment. What I understood from my first playthrough Espers is that, for example, itong restriction therapy, what it does is there are specific cards that you can treat with it, tulad ng impetus, mania, and memoria. It doesn't treat everything. So pag ginamit nyo to and your patient has symptoms relating to impetus, mania, or memoria, randomly lang siya makakapag-treat doon. So those treatment na isa lang talaga yung kinocure niya, yun yung mas mahal syempre. Let's buy one opium. Ito nga pala kung gaano kalakas yung treatment since merong required amount for the patient to be released, I think, or para ma-contain siya. Let's buy 3 restriction therapy. Ang dami niyang tinitreat kasi. A surprise bat, opium, and then 2 sensory deprivation therapy. Ayaw natin ubusin yung gold natin or dollars since those might come in handy pa as we treat more patients. So we can now go to our office. Wala naman ng ibang pwedeng puntahan dito. Meron tayong mga likot in our office, pero we should start working. Alright, we are going to drag a file sa table natin to start and isosort natin yung open cards or symptoms ng patient natin to the brain chart. So ito na yung part na nagre-require na nga ng reading as those cards should match the symptom. We're going to play test cards to uncover more symptoms sa inyong mga naka-face down the cards. And then when we're all done, we would be dropping the file to the folder. So let's continue. For our first patient, si Samuel Bennett. So you can actually read what's in here sa file niya. Age 58 and metrics here. Current health is at full. And for treatment, malaki-laki yung kailangan niya. Alright, first, let's sort out those face-up cards. Pinakauna is yung inappropriate behavior. So as we read through here, dito nyo siya isa-short. Mostly for bad temper, dito siya papasok. So I think inappropriate behavior belongs to the impetus region. Ayun yung kailangan yung gawin. Then for imaginary threats, I believe sa may mania siya. Then nag-isip siya ng kung ano-anong bagay. This leads to reality distortion, so we're going to put it there. And we have now a point system wherein we can use our test para mabawasan sila and reveal those remaining symptoms. Uy, mali. Na-drag ko kaagad. Alright, so the roar test actually decreases those cards by 1. And the dark chamber test reveals all of the patient's symptoms. Makita nyo nga pa yung log dito sa my left hand side. Tested with dark chamber and tested with the roar test successfully. We now have 3 more symptoms to try and sort out. Aggressive behavior again, bad temper, irritable, dito rin siya magbibilong, I think. And lastly, for delusional jealousy. Kind of tricky, but I think we would be putting it sa my mania as well. So try lang natin. So we now have 3 impetus na sinort out. Let's see if that's correct later on. And then 2 mania for Samuel Bennett. We have to remember these since yung treatment na ipoprovide natin sa kanya has to solve these symptoms. Kasi if not, hindi tataas yung EXP bar natin. Let's close this file and move to our next patient. We now have Charles Van Hogenband. We have 3 more remaining tests. Ayan yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na don't spend all your money agad para naman makabili pa tayo ng additional test later on. So for Dark Chamber test, ayan yung makukuha nyan. You have to get -1 dito. Not the best use, I think, but we can go with physiognomic test and the Dark Chamber test. Naku, that's a bug right there. Ito na lang siguro yung best thing to do. Hindi ko alam kung ano mangyayari if we try and do this. So let's go for the roar test and see what it reveals. So aggressive behavior again goes inside impetus. Cramps! Huh, I can't believe na merong cramps. Anything na may physical dito. Ailments to the impetus region, reflexes and impulses. General rational thought, memory and skill of recollection, creativity and dreams, attraction and libido, rational reaction to dangers, sense of self and identity. Mukhang papasok na naman siya sa may impetus. Hallucinations, most likely mania, again. Changes in personality, mukhang ito lang naman yung papasok sa may ego. And hears voices, mukhang mania rin to. Imaginary presences. Alright, for Charles Van Hogenband, meron tayong meron tayong 2 impetus, 2 mania, and then isang ego. Let's see if that's correct and we can resolve it after putting it sa out folder natin. Now, it's time to open each patient file. 2 pa lang ngayon. Choose a treatment. And kailangan natin makita yung minimum treatment bar. We have the freedom to choose saan silang room masosort. Alright, let's continue. So let's go first with Samuel Bennett. I can't scroll to the other side. Marami akong biniling cure, pero since I use 2 monitors, nagpupunta lang yung mouse ko sa kabila. Now we have to make do with what we have. Hindi pa natin sure if these symptoms have been diagnosed correctly. But remember, meron tayong 3 impetus and then 2 mania para kay Samuel Bennett. Right now, magdedepend tayo sa color and they are denoted naman dito. Since mania is for pink and then impetus would be for navy blue. Let's go for sensory deprivation therapy. -1 nga yan dyan. Hindi ko sure bakit mababa yung bar dito. It always happens during my first playthrough as well. And may pagka-sure naman tayo rin sa imaginary threats, but we are going to try and use restriction therapy. 2 siguro nyan. Since it encompasses yung impetus and mania, which we all have dito. Going for 1 opium, and that should be good for Samuel Bennett. Magtitira tayo para kay Charles Van Hogenband. Let's go for 203, and we will sign right here, I love you 3,000. May nag-drop pa na ink. So let's put him sa may 203. And then for Charles Van Hogenband, okay naman tayo sa hallucinations. Sure tayo dyan, and we are going for surprise bat as well. Hindi na nga pala pwede ibalik sa may treatment bar ninyo. I mean, treatment options. Or pwede ba? We can use right click. Hindi na nga pwede ibalik. And lastly, gagamitin natin yung restriction therapy. Okay lang yan. We still have $17 to spend. And we are going to work on with our patients until they are fully healed kasi. Kaya I think it's best to use yung mga cheap na treatment on your patients already. but not these ones. Sasabi ko nga kanina, pwede ito makapag-cure ng impetus, mania, or memoria na sakit ng patients natin. $17 we can spend on additional treatment later on. Pero if we need more test, pwede pa rin tayo bumili niyan. Ang ganda ng effect dito na nag-drop yung ink. We are going to sign here CVH Charles Van Hogenvand. 204, lalagyan natin yan dyan. And here are the results. Correct. Ang classification natin for the first 2, 3. We're going for gold, changes in personality, and here's voices. So tama yan. -1, -1, and then... Uy, yung isa parang wala siyang na minus. Let's see our next patient. Aggressive behavior, tama rin. Irritable, tama rin. Inappropriate behavior, tama rin. And I think we're going to reach our end ng bar kaagad. That's going to 3, 2, 3, 4. Alright. And here's a summary log of what happened. Let's go through it. 0.5 tested, withdraw test with success. I'm not sure what the 0.5 mean. Ah, tama. Yung test na ginawa natin. So, dagdag ng 0.5 sa EXP bar natin. And I hope that this can be sorted ng mas mabilis or mas maganda. Since naghalo yung test, treatment, and then result for our 2 patients. They can have an additional tab here for each patient. Kasi ang hirap nga naman mag-go through dito. I am seeing lots of text. We're going to continue, and ang hirap dito kasi you just have to click outside dito sa my right side. Sana meron na lang dedicated button that we can use to continue. And there's a typo. Congratulations! You have successfully fooled the head physician. So for this demo pala, Espers, parang we just have to complete the bar. Although pwede ko ipakita sa inyo that we can have 3 patients later on if you try and make mistakes. And kung nagkamali ka ng hindi ka pwede magkamali ng test actually. I think you can go wrong lang when diagnosing symptoms of patients. Doon lang babawas yung XP bar ninyo. We will be assigned to a new word soon. And those are multiple typos for this title screen or end screen. Successfully assigned, and the congratulations. You can actually restart, and once we start game, alam ko, ito yung nangyayari. We will be continuing to the next day. We can sleep sa ating quarters. And once we go back to the asylum, hindi ko alam kung ano mangyayari. Rise and shine, doctor. Right, random lights showing up sa my window. Going to go back to work. And we can explore. Nope, we can't. Let's go downstairs and see if we have more patients. Ito nga pala lalabas, it's locked. Since we need to buy first para sa ating patient. Ito yung bug na nangyayari, Espers, once you've completed or reached the title page wherein you completed the demo. Wala kang mabibili sa test and treatment. Ayan, isa sa mga bugs. Let's click on exit and see if we are going to get more patients. Start working. And we do have Charles Van Hogenvand. So we tested with success. Diagnosed correctly, diagnosed correctly, diagnosed correctly. Prescribe the treatment with success. Although there were some side effects caused by those na pinakita natin. And another bug yan, I believe. These texts clone. Part of the programming of the game. Right, we are done with this. And nag-a-adjust talaga yung metrics. Hindi ko sure kung paano gumagana yan. Here is the human psyche, but we are going to end our game review from that one. Smooth sailing yung pinakita kong run, Espers, but this won't happen if you played this for the first time. Sinasabi ko nga, walang in-depth tutorial na mangyayari dito. Also, you have to really take note of what you've diagnosed each symptom with. Remember, hindi mo pa alam kung tama yung diagnosis nyo doon sa patient, which in result can add or reduce sa may EXP bar ninyo. Again, the process would be diagnosing with the test that you've bought. So, separate yan sa may treatment. Classifying it yan dito sa may gilid, sa Human Psyche Atlas. That's number 2. And then finally, you would be treating those na tingin mo tumama ka sa paghula or pag-classify. Dalawa lang naman yung kailangan yung bilhin, but I'm guessing that this will be more complicated or more tests and treatment. I mean, mas marami pang sakit na pwede mag-appear that you will be harder to classify dito sa 7 region of our brain. Again, Sanatorium, you can play this sa my GameRound.co na website. Pero pa tong 3 weeks sa ating game catalog since this has just been released last Thursday. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We are waiting for the next G.Round Hero season and I hope that we do win this time around kasi hindi pa tayo nanalo dun sa giveaway na yun. Do use my referral link below if this is your first time watching any of my game reviews, and we are going to continue doing this para naman makapaglaro kayo ng free games. Pero syempre, give or take to, you have to provide your feedback sa developers through GameRound's website or sa Discord natin. Stay safe, Espers, and do stay hydrated.